Hi everyone. So this is going to be the informal intro to the start of my channel, I guess. Um, I'm making this channel and videos because I know when I started this hobby recently, it was hard to find people explaining and doing things in a way that I could easily understand. So I'm going to try my best as a new rockhound to provide that information to people. So I'm not doing scripted videos. I'm not going to make these super polished. I'm not going to do a ton of editing and retaking. I don't have a lot of time for that. Between this hobby, fly fishing, and owning and operating a restaurant, I really don't have time to also be a professional YouTube video maker. So you're gonna have to bear with however these videos turn out. I'm doing this more so that people can learn, I guess. I don't really want to consider myself a teacher because I'm still an amateur too. But I know that it can be fun to watch people dig for crystals and look for rocks, especially when you can't do that yourself all the time. So, all that said, I'm going to do the best I can and try to make these as interesting and fun to follow along. So let's start with a quick backstory. I started rockhounding in March of 2021, this year. And basically, I knew nothing about rocks and geology and what to look for and where to go. So learning about all that stuff has been a lot of fun. And in that process, I noticed, I wasn't always able to easily find what I want to learn about. So I'm going to try to provide some of that. I can't guarantee that I'm going to do a very good job, but we'll see how it goes. So hopefully going forward, these videos will get better as well. Basically, I spent this spring and summer, traveling around Western Nevada and parts of the Sierra. I live in Reno. That's the beautiful Truckee River right outside of my apartment. Western Nevada happens to be a fantastic region for minerals, rocks, crystals. We live in a great place. This is honestly a rockhounder's dream to be out here. So recently I came across a very wonderful deposit of crystals. When I started this, never imagined finding a big amethyst crystal deposit. That was a dream beyond dreams. So one afternoon, well, technically it began one morning, my friend Sarina and I traveled to a well-known spot to collect some garnets, and then spent the rest of the day driving up dirt roads and looking at quartz. Now, we were looking for crystals, but, I did not expect to find very much. We were using the basic clues. We drive along for a little ways. We would check for some float, which is small pieces of quartz located on the ground. And then if we were finding some, we would take a look at it and see how clear is it, does it have shapes forming on it. And we spent the day just driving around, and we were finding some really nice quartz, some stuff that we put in the rock tumblers, and it's absolutely beautiful. Both rose, clear, and smoky. But we hadn't found anything particularly interesting. So, last stop of the day, I found a crystal rod. And that prompted us to do a little bit more searching, and we ended up finding 4 small crystals. So we made note and came back about a week later, and on that exploration, we ended up hitting it pretty big. So we were walking along, and as we went, I found a piece like this. Now, we had done a little bit of searching going up this hill and hadn't found a lot, but when I came across this, man, that was a good sign. we knew that we had definitely stumbled onto something decent. So then we started finding more pieces just like that one. We were finding really nice smoky like this. And then, after a little bit more searching in this first area, we found several pieces like this. Really gorgeous plate pieces. So that day was, needless to say, a spectacular day. It led us to coming back a couple days later, and on that search we decided to look over the rest of the hillside. And we spent most of the morning looking around, not finding very much, until Sarina came across several, again, small crystals on the ground. Which, if you find small crystals on the ground and you're searching and you're in an area you believe you may find a pocket, so you're near a quartz vein, you start digging. And so we dug several test holes and struck a small pocket with a bunch of 2 to 3 inch crystals. And that was great. It made the day so interesting. It's so wildly fun to be out there and come across the pocket for the first time. And so I moved up a couple of feet from the main dig, and all of a sudden I started pulling crystals like this. Some nice, big, clear crystals. Several of them, in fact. Really got everybody's attention. Here's one of the larger ones. Now this happens to be a partial scepter. As you can see, there's some reformation going on, reversal there. So when we struck that, it was game changer. Within a few more minutes, we started finding the purple. And that was huge. Honestly, I started jumping up and down for joy. It was honestly exhilarating to find big chunks of purple crystal. Like, wow, you know? It was truly a magnificent moment. A magnificent day. Now, these pieces, as you can tell, are very unique. We've ended up later finding out that this area is a very high activity area. So since that day, we've got a claim, and we've proceeded to dig out the first pocket area. And every trip we have just been really finding some incredible stuff. Big pieces with lots of faceting, multiple heads. We're getting a lot of these partial scepters. This one has purple on both ends. And it's also, as you can tell, double terminated. Here is a decently large scepter piece. Pretty big double terminations. Some more amethyst. Another big clear head. This one too, double terminated. And then we're finding a lot of, small double terms by the bucket load. I must have several hundred little crystals like this, and some very interesting pieces like this one, which has got a double term, multiple little formations all over it. You can see on this one, you get a nice double term with another little crystal growing on it. with even smaller crystals growing off that. So it was a major strike, to say the least. I mean, this is honestly just a sampling of some of the better materials that we've found so far. Obviously, in the rest of the video, I will kind of highlight the dig site. I'll go over where we were digging, what to look for, and I'm going to try to make more of these videos and go on all of our adventures. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I hope this video and all the ones to come are enjoyable and that everybody has a good time. So, yeah, let's get out there and let's get rock hunting, guys. And as a quick addendum, here's one of the more interesting pieces we've gotten. We're calling it the Abomination. It's a very large piece in a matrix, and in this matrix are just hundreds of little crystals. They're not really showing up on the camera here. Just tons of terminations. I mean, just an uncountable number of small crystals. It's really fascinating, along with the very, very large piece here. And what's interesting too about this large piece is you can see right, come on camera, maybe we won't be able to see, in that crack that formed right there in the crystal, a bunch of new small crystals grew out of it. So this area, according to one of the geologists I've spoken to, is highly active and likely had 3 incursions, along with a lot of heat. So there's a good chance that we're going to be continuing to pull out large materials like this for a while. The vein itself is supposedly a vertically flipped vug, and what we suspect is pegmatite, though we're still trying to learn exactly what it is, or excuse me, pegmatite. As you can tell, I'm still pretty new at all this geology. So, but supposedly we have a flipped vug, which means we could be digging out crystals of large size and amethyst for many years to come. So let's get out there.